I hated when the teacher would be like, Ella, you answer this question. I would just get so nervous about that. And then my mum actually told the school, and the school got the police involved, and the police came to my school and they did this whole talk and they said like, we will find you. I was really worried, especially since there was going to be boys at the school and I was not used to boys. I was nervous about the most ridiculous things. I was nervous about what kind of bag I should take to school and how I should wear my socks. You're probably thinking, what? So today's video is going to be all about advice for schools. So I posted a photo on my Instagram a couple of days ago asking for you guys to leave me some questions for this Q&A. So I screenshotted the ones that I want to answer today, and I also looked back at an old photo that I posted almost like half a year ago now asking for questions for a school Q&A, and I actually never got around to doing that video then. So I'm going to answer some of those questions now. You guys asked some really great questions. There's a real variety in there, so I'm going to link all of the questions in my description. So if you see any of those questions and you think they're more relevant for you, feel free to click to that time in the video so you can just watch that particular question. I really hope you guys find this video helpful. If you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you have any advice that you'd like to share, make sure to leave it in the comments down below. And today's question that I want you guys to answer in the comments is, what was your favourite subject at school? I think mine would have to be child studies, but that was in year 9 and 10. But for year 11 and 12 I really liked society and culture and design and technology. So make sure to leave your comment down below, and let's just get into the Q&A. How do I deal with friends that ignore me and pretend that I'm not there? I feel like I can definitely relate to this. I don't know if it was my lack of confidence that made me feel this way, but sometimes I used to feel like I could be talking in a conversation and I wasn't being heard, but everybody else was being heard. And I'm not sure if it was just the way I was feeling or if they were actually trying to make me feel like that. I would say don't take it too personally. Always remember, if someone's ignoring you, that's their problem, not yours, and you can rise above it and just keep being yourself. Don't try and change for anyone, and you will find people who love you and want to listen to you. Also, if it's really bothering you, I think maybe take that person aside and maybe just talk to them and ask them why they're ignoring you, and just tell them that it's making you feel a little bit upset, and their reaction will show whether they're a good friend or not. If they're really apologetic and they say that they didn't realize that they were doing that, then it shows that they're actually a genuine friend and it was completely a misunderstanding. But if that person blows up at you and gets annoyed and really defensive, then I feel like you're better off finding some new friends. And even though this wasn't actually a part of your question, don't be afraid to go around and try and make new friends with different people. I know when I was at school, I felt like I was really betraying my group if I went and talked to different people, because girls like to cause dramas and I hated that. Like, you'd go and talk to someone else and be like, why is she talking to them? But honestly, you do you. I think it's great to get to know a lot of people and talk to everyone, so then you find the right crowd for you. Most effective study tips and advice on how to deal with annoying people who won't be quiet in class. I just want to punch them in the face. Well, like, maybe don't punch them in the face, but I can completely relate to this. I remember finding it so annoying in my maths class because there would be some people who just wouldn't shut up, and the teacher would always pay more attention to them when they didn't want to learn, and she wouldn't pay much attention to the people who did want to learn, and I found that really frustrating. Plus, when people are being really noisy in class and distracting, it's just hard to concentrate. But I would recommend probably sitting at the front if you can, near the teacher's desk. I know a lot of people avoid this because a lot of people don't like to answer questions in class. Are you guys one of those people? Because I hated when the teacher would be like, Ella, you answer this question. I would just get so nervous about that. But if you do sit by the teacher's desk or near the front, I think it is pretty beneficial for when you're trying to concentrate, because one, you can hear them better and they'll notice you more. But also, if you're sitting at the front, all you can see is the whiteboard. You can't see people in front of you that are going to distract you, so you can just focus on your work a bit more. And as for my most effective study tips, I'm probably not the best person to answer this, honestly, but looking back from when I was at school, I think the things that helped me the most was, one, using apps. I used to download the Excel app, so a lot of you guys will probably know, if you live in Australia, you can get these Excel textbooks for every single subject, which has all sorts of information about the syllabus, and also has lots of like questions and stuff and practice tests. But you can actually get apps that you download which has all the information on it, and it also has practice tests on there, a place for you to write notes, and it also summarizes every single chapter for you. So I use this for maths a lot. And when I was trying to learn my creative writing pieces and my essays off by heart, something that I did around my exam time was go for walks with my parents really early in the morning, like probably around 5 AM. And fun fact, your brain activity is apparently like 100% on between like 4 and 6 a.m. I think it is. I'm not really sure about the science behind this or if it's accurate, but I feel like I definitely was more switched on at that time in the morning. I don't know about you guys, but when I would go for these walks at this time in the morning with my parents, I try and regurgitate my essay and my creative writing pieces to them without actually looking at the piece. So I was basically telling them a story, and that would help me remember them so much better. And I do it so many times that by the end my parents even knew my creative writing and essay pieces, but this really helped me. How did you make sure to stay true to yourself and not get pressured by others or be focused on friend issues or teenage issues? So I was one of these people when I was at school that would be really affected by other people's issues. So if someone else is having a bad day and they're kind of taking it out on me, I would really take the burden, and it would really affect me when I was in class because that was all I could focus on. One thing that I sometimes used to do, and a few of my friends used to do as well, was actually go up to the library in lunch and do our work in there, or just kind of hang out in there and take ourselves away from the school playground where like all the drama happens. And this actually really helped because then you took yourself away from it all. It was more of a quiet environment, and then when you went back to class you could focus more. I actually really struggled with this at school to the point when I got pretty bad anxiety at school and I was having like panic attacks in class. It wasn't just relating to this stuff, it was relating to all sorts of things, but I actually took myself out of school and taught myself like school from home. I wasn't homeschooled or anything, I just had to teach myself. So I went through the syllabus and I got my teachers to email me like the work from class and stuff. I did this for about the last year of school, and then I'd just go into school to do my exams and stuff, but I really wouldn't recommend this for absolutely everyone. It probably did help me focus a lot more and it really helped my anxiety, but I do regret missing out on like the year 12 experience. I did go back to school for some of the things, but some things I did miss out on because I was too worried about my anxiety and like friendship issues and stuff. But also I had some pretty lazy teachers who wouldn't actually email me the work when I asked them to, which put me behind a little bit. So I think if you have some really great proactive and really supportive teachers, then like doing the work from home can be fine, and that can really help you get away from being distracted by like friendship drama and being influenced and stuff. I would only really recommend doing this in the worst case scenario if you really can't focus because all of these things are bothering you. Try all like the other strategies first, like going to the library and stuff, and then if you really can't focus on your schoolwork because of these friendship issues and people influencing you, then I think maybe it's time to like distance yourself from it. You could even go and do distance education. That's what my brother and sister are doing, and they're basically enrolled in an actual school, but they do the work from home. So like the school sends the work to their house. And I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, why didn't you do that? I didn't know about that when I was in year 12, but I would have loved to do it if I knew about it. How did you go with picking your year 12 subjects? So for year 9 and 10, I believe I chose 4 subjects. I can't remember if it was 3 or 4. That is so terrible that I've forgotten. And then year 11 and 12, we chose 4 more subjects, and then we actually got to drop one if we wanted to. So I chose CAFS, which was Community and Family Studies, Society and Culture, Design and Technology, and Hospitality. And then we also had to do Maths and English, and there was like different levels. It can be really overwhelming when you get the booklet with all of your subject options and you're trying to think of the right one for you, but all I can recommend is that you do subjects that you enjoy, because they're the ones that you're going to do the best at, I promise you, and it's going to make your high school experience a whole lot more enjoyable and fun. And I mean, it depends on everyone's situation. Some people have to pick certain subjects to get a certain result at the end of their school year. A tip for you guys to make your subject more enjoyable as well is with your assignments, always make it something relatable to yourself, because then you're going to enjoy it so much more. So for example, with my design and technology project, I had to make something and then write a whole portfolio about it. So I decided to make a makeup station, which was so much fun. It was really stressful at the same time, but I was way more passionate about it because I loved makeup, and I obviously talk about makeup on my YouTube channel and stuff. So I really enjoyed that, and it was actually really beneficial to me, and I learned a lot. And for my society and culture subject, I did this personal interest project, and I did it all about why people wear makeup. So again, I linked it back to something that I could relate to, and I really enjoyed that as well. So if you guys can, depending on your assignment, try and link it back to something that you enjoy and you can relate to, and you'll probably do really well with it. it because you're really passionate about it. How to deal with bullying at school and who to tell. So I haven't experienced any major bullying, but I do remember when I was in year 6, I had MSN. It was a thing before Facebook, and I didn't really know how to use it, and I don't know why I was allowed to use it if I wasn't sure how to use it. But anyways, I was accepting pretty much anyone who added me, because you'd think that only people who knew you would add you at that age. But I accepted this one person who I didn't know. I assumed I knew them though, because in their name they had the postcode from the area that I lived in, so I was like, oh, I must know them. Anyways, I then received heaps of messages popping up with all of like these death threats and threats towards my family and saying some pretty personal stuff, which was really unexpected, and I was only 11 years old at this point, I think, and so this was really traumatic to me and I was really scared. So what do? The first thing that I did was exit MSN, exit the message, just so I couldn't see it. But that meant I had no evidence, because back then you couldn't like look at your conversation that you had just before if you'd exited it. But this really shook me up and my family, and I was thinking, who could hate me this much? And we ruled out that this person definitely knew me, because they were saying some like personal stuff, like pointing out the fact that like my mum was a band teacher and stuff, and it was like, okay, they have to know me if they know my mum's a band teacher, because I didn't have like an online presence or anything at that point. So what I did straight away was tell my mum, and then my mum actually told the school, and the school got the police involved, and the police came to my school and they did this whole talk, and they said like, we will find you. And then the girl who did it ended up confessing, and it was a relief. So the girl who did it wasn't a threat at all, it was just something that she did as a joke, she said, which really was not a funny joke. But I was really happy that I got the police involved and my parents involved, because there were like a few days when I was feeling like really anxious, thinking, who are these people sending these messages? And my parents were even feeling really uncomfortable about it. But just remember, with bullying, there's always someone out there who will listen to you and take your matter seriously. You shouldn't be bottling that stuff up inside. You should be telling someone, because there are people out there who can help you. And if someone's threatening you and saying, if you tell this person, I'll do this, don't buy into it. Make sure you tell someone, because really you shouldn't allow them to have that power over you. How to make the most of your senior year before graduation. So I would just say, get involved in everything and have so much fun, and get really hyped up about your formal and stuff. I remember that I like started planning what I was going to wear months in advance, and where I was going to get my makeup and stuff, and that just made everything really exciting. I'm sure most schools do lots of exciting things at the end of your senior year just to make it a really memorable time for you. So get involved. If you have like a yearbook or something, get involved in that. I don't think we did that. No, we didn't. But definitely get involved in that stuff. If you could go back to year 7, what advice would you give to yourself? I would say, don't isolate yourself to one particular group. Go around and talk to everyone, because I know when I was at school, I just wanted to stick with the same people that I was friends with in primary school. So then I didn't really get to know everybody else. But I feel like when you start high school, you should make an effort to go and talk to everyone, especially because there's going to be a few students there who actually don't know anybody, because they've come from a school like far away or something. So like, you have to make the effort to talk to them. But I definitely would recommend to my year 7 self to go around and talk to everyone, because I probably would have found a group that was more like-minded to me. What's your best advice for starting a new school? So as you guys know, I've been to quite a few new schools, because obviously I lived in England for 9 years and I moved over to Australia and I had to start a new school. But that was fairly easy, because obviously I had the easy conversation topic that like I was from England, and everyone was fairly intrigued about my accent and stuff. So it was fairly easy starting a new school in Australia. But I remember when I had to move schools in high school, I went to an all-girls school for year 7 and 8, and then for year 9, 10, 11, 12 I went to a co-ed public school which was closer to my house. And when my mum told me that I was going to have to move because it was much more affordable and close to our house, I was so upset and so anxious that I even had to go to a counsellor about it. And looking back at it, I was nervous about the most ridiculous things. I was nervous about what kind of bag I should take to school and how I should wear my socks. You're probably thinking, what? And because I went to an all-girls school before that, and they had like a particular school uniform and a particular bag and stuff, I didn't really have to worry about that kind of stuff, because I knew everyone would wear the same stuff. But whereas at this school, even though we all had the same uniform, you could bring whatever bag you wanted to school, and it was a little bit more lenient. So I was really worried, especially since there was going to be boys at this school and I was not used to boys. But I didn't really know her very well at all. I literally played like 3 water polo games with her and then I like quit. So I messaged her, and then she put me in contact with with quite a few of the other girls and they added me on Facebook, so then I was familiar with their faces. And it's so funny because I remember like having my first impression from looking at their Facebook and then getting to know them and being like, oh, you're so different to what I expected. But that made me feel so much more relaxed in moving schools. It also was really helpful because there was another new girl who I'd never met before starting at the same time as me, and we clicked instantaneously and became best friends for like a year. And yeah, that really helped me out and made moving schools so much easier. So if you have the opportunity to reach out to anyone at the school that you're going to, I would really recommend to do that, just to know one extra person. But also I think just fake it till you make it when you get there. Keep smiling and faking your confidence, give off a really approachable vibe, and then people will come to you to talk to you. So they are all of the questions that I'm going to answer in today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. Make sure you leave your comment down below saying what was your favorite subject at school, because I will definitely be reading them. And make sure to check out all of my other back to school videos that are going to be coming out this week, and my one that I posted yesterday. Make sure to check out all of my social medias down below in the meantime and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!